stereotypes that we have from others and from ourselves.
Okay.
You know, 3, a stereotype of being a good dad means you got a good job.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean you're a good dad because you got a good job, you got finances coming in. But sometimes that stops men who look like us to move forward in their fatherhood
mm-hmm.
journey. I don't got it right now. Then the mom is over here, you ain't this,
mm-hmm.
you ain't that,
mm-hmm.
and like, you know, I'm not gonna come around because I ain't got it like that, and I can't defend myself in the financial battle, so to speak.
Okay.
That's another. You know what I mean? So things that happen in our culture that causes men like us not to mm-hmm. pursue in the direction of fatherhood in a positive direction.
One thing that I think that push a father back from being part of his life sometimes could be shame. That shame that he have
a failure, shame of failure. You know, sometimes when things are not going right,
mm-hmm.
we take it on as the man and be like, dang, is it me? Is it me? And then that shame of being a failure
mm-hmm.
just sits on you, and it sits on you like it rots.
A ton of bricks.
A ton of bricks.
A ton of bricks. I'm ashamed to go see my child. I'm ashamed to even call her.
But why are you ashamed though? A lot of times I feel like men are ashamed because they're ashamed because of their finances. That's one. Shamed because of their past. Our past is not necessarily who we are in the present.
No.
And when I say past, maybe you had some legal troubles because we all been through some legal issues.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So shame of that. If I come around and maybe I still am in legal issues,
mm-hmm.
do I have to worry about upsetting my child's other parent?
Mm-hmm.
And then now they got my address, they got my phone number. Now I'm instead of me seeing my kids, I'm seeing the law. You know what I mean? What do I do with that? How do I go to my kids but without being ashamed of being incarcerated, be ashamed of my employment or my financial status at the moment?
So I could be that father incarcerated.
Or been incarcerated already.
Been incarcerated.
And I don't want to go back.
And it's repetitious. So I'm saying to myself, you know what? I want my son to, especially my son.
Well, I believe it's both because we got a daddy's girl too, right?
Okay,
right, daddy's girl, right?
I got girls too,
right?
But look, sons, I'm senior, you're junior. I don't want you to go the same pathways that I went, being incarcerated.
Well, what about this? I don't want you to be with someone that used to be like me, or is how I used to be, as a daddy's girl too, because you know how we are with our daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, let me get your portfolio real quick. What you doing?
Right.
What you doing with your life right now?
So then that question I could also ask, is your father part of your life that you want to date my daughter?
Yeah, but I want to go back to the shame part because
mm-hmm.
that's the disconnect, I
mm-hmm.
believe,
mm-hmm.
when it comes to the family, when you get separated. When I say separated, it could be divorced, it could be... Separated means that you not with your kids no more.
Period.
You're not with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So now you trying to go from being a full-time dad, now you I'm not gonna say a part-time dad,
mm-hmm.
but you only seeing your kids part of the time that you used to see them.
Right.
What's hindering you from using that time to go see them? And I believe that some of the things are the shame of finances,
okay.
the shame of your criminal past or current past with the law,
okay.
and just your overall being of this stereotype, maybe stereotyped by your child's family or stereotyped by yourself because you're not where you used to be or where you want to be at. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the 3 main reasons of why men don't pursue
mm-hmm.
a stronger relationship with their children.
And that child's family could be them saying some false and negative things.
And that's the stereotypes they're putting on there. We know the stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
Your daddy ain't this. Your daddy ain't that.
You're gonna be just like
he ain't got no job. He in jail. He got
Yeah.
the law run after
Mm-hmm.
him. And then next thing you know, you have to. You ever been walking on eggshells before?
Yes, sir.
Walking on
Yes,
eggshells,
sir.
like I want to say something, but I know if I say something,
Mm-hmm.
this may happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna let you have that. But then how long can you walk on eggshells,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm gonna just give you some tips that I've
Now,
used.
Y'all listen to this right here. He's trying to tell y'all something. I want y'all to stop what y'all doing. Just pull up y'all chair. Pull up the chair because what he's been through, what I've been through, shame, guilt, failure, incarceration, whatever the case may be, pull it in. Pull it in. Sorry about that,
No,
Chris.
you good. So the first thing I want to do is give you these tips. The first thing is this. You got to make a decision. A decision is, am I going to be in my child's life or I'm not going to be in their life? That's the first step. What's your decision? Second thing is, now I need to move forward. How do I move forward? Moving forward means communicating. Okay? Yeah, we pick up the phone call. Now we got technology, we got FaceTime. Okay, now I need to see what can I do to go physically see my child, because the more time I have with them, the more influence I have also.
Hey, and that means a lot.
Right, and when you say influence, like, man, I can't take them this place, I can't take them that place. Let me tell you something. Them kids don't care about no 5-star Ritz-Carlton,
No, sir.
the steak dinners and stuff. They'd be okay with a pizza. You know what I mean? They'd be okay with a sandwich. They'd be just want to spend time with you. And then what you like? What can I say to my kids? What can I do for them when I don't have money? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you can do for them.
Tell
you can
me.
give them experience.
What kind of
Because
experience?
for instance, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Right? It's certain things growing up in Brooklyn and my lifetime and your lifetime too, growing up in Baltimore, that you can share with your kids. Number one, respect. What's respect mean in our culture? What's respect? Because if I tell you and I teach you what respect is from my point of view, you won't think about it. I'm planting seeds. What other seeds can you plant into your child other than respect? How to be a man, how to be a young woman, right? What to look for in a man. You see what I'm saying? Because we know what them red flags are. Because we always I was a red flag wearer for a long time.
Yes,
you know what
sir.
I mean? You see me coming, it's the red flag.
Yes,
but those
sir.
are the experiences that you can give to your kids.
Yes, sir.
Those are the experiences you can give to them. It's not about money all the time. It's not, maybe your place ain't big enough. Yeah, it ain't big enough. But you guess what? Every kid love playing tent and building forts. Every kid loves that.
Wow.
So bring them on over. Matter of fact, let me see what you like, because that's what bonding is.
Yes, sir.
When I think of a bond, I'm thinking of two things coming together and it's pressed together and it's not coming through. So how can I'm gonna bring my child and me. That's me and my child coming together, father and child coming together. And the way you press that in, like a welder welds it in, right? It's through time and conversation and communication. Hey, what's on your mind? I don't want to hear the good. Tell me what's on your mind. What you like watching? You know, let's incorporate something. I started incorporating family dinners. At first, it was rough. I'm telling you, because we didn't do family dinners. So I'm like, we're gonna do family dinners at 6 o'clock every day.
And that comes from what you used to do as a child.
I never did that.
No. Stop at that. You've reversed a negative and brought it into your past for the positive.
So how can I take a negative into a positive? I'm used to eating dinner in front of the TV. You know what I mean? Or going to the Chinese spot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Chicken wing fried rice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
3 wings.
Right. You know what I mean? With some fried rice and some egg roll, whatever. You know what I mean? Going to the little chicken spot with some fries. That's what my dinners was like. You know what I mean? Because Mom Dukes had a couple jobs. So she wasn't always there for dinner. But you know what? Maybe I'm not employed. Maybe you're not employed right now. So we can have dinner every day. And you know what? It ain't going to be no big fancy dinner. Maybe it might just be some ramen. Y'all know where my oodles and noodles people at. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying though, because those are the memories. That's the bonding right there where, you know what? I remember that time, man, me and my dad always ate ramen, some oodles and noodles, man. Man, I remember one time he spiced this joint up. This joint was tasting good. But over those oodles and noodles, that's where the conversations come. That's where the bonding comes. You know what I mean? What's on your mind? Well, I was going through this and, I like this boy. Oh, okay. And when they say they like this boy, don't come in hard. What boy is this? Be a listener. Active listening. That's another thing we talked about at my family table. How to actively listen. And actively listen is making eye contact. We don't have no phones on the table. Put your phone back over there, turn it off or turn it down. Okay? I'm looking at you.
Right.
Okay? I'm paying attention. I'm asking questions. I'm not cutting you off. You know what I mean? And I'm allowing you to say everything you want to say, because I know when I'm coming up, you know how it is when you're you talking to the family. You can't get a whole sentence out. Somebody jumping in. You know what I mean? But I wanted to change that narrative. So now we take turns at our table. We start with one person. They say everything they need to say, and then we can ask questions and they move forward. So changing the narrative. That's what I'm saying. Make a change. What change can you make at this time right here, they don't require money. They don't require a big space.
No.
You said it just requires you to be there.
Good. I'm glad we at your table because now it's my turn.
Right.
Man, you said a whole lot there. You said a whole mouthful. I got this thing that I've always said that the best thing you could ever spend on your children is time. Like you said, no $1 million house, no Mercedes Benz, no 5-star restaurants. You're gonna meet and greet here. In my household, we eat together. I got a crazy schedule. We eat together on my days off. If I don't see y'all no more this week, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. At least y'all gave me this time right here. Like you said something about the phone. Put that down. I had to tell my son, can you
disconnect so you can connect?
We're trying to eat. Oh, Dad, no. You ain't going upstairs today, bro. When I'm at work, you can go upstairs in your room and eat. But we gonna do this. Daughter girl, come here. Girl, I love you. Come on, let's eat. If you don't eat but a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I done cooked all this right here, I'm fine with that. But at least we got the time. But I want to go back to something that we were talking about because, I mean, you went, and y'all listen to this because he definitely went in a direction that I didn't know you was going in about that time thing because we was talking about the hurts and the failures, but then you went a different direction that was learning, that was meaningful, that a father out there, just listen to it. It don't take a lot. But that guilt also. I don't know if you mentioned guilt.
And I felt guilty because it was a time for a whole year I didn't get to speak to my kids like I wanted to. When I was finally able to get custody of my 3 oldest kids at the time, my son was 3 years old at the time. He didn't even know who I was. It broke me down.
I believe you.
He ran from me. He didn't even know who I was. And to this moment right here, I could feel the emotion building up. But even though I felt bad, even though it wasn't my fault. Like, it wasn't my fault he didn't know me. But at the same time, what can I do at this point forward? And I had to make a decision. So for those of us out there who's watching and you going through some things and things maybe I didn't even mention, things I probably don't even understand, but you understand better than I do. Make a decision. Who's more important? Is my child more important or this situation here more important?
Man, situations. You talk about your son at 3 years old. Remember I told you a story about me and my son. And my goal was to do 20 years in the military. Got to Germany, a little bit of red tape. They gave me the option. Do this tour 18 months on basically ETS. Never had my father in my life. I took my ETS. And to this very day, my son been in 18 years now, it hit me here and there, every now and then. But what you just now said, the sacrifice. I was willing to put him before this career. Son, I love you. I love you unconditionally. I love you till the end of this face of this world, this universe, this galaxy, whatever the case may be. This military career is not worth it. I wouldn't be in your life because I didn't have my son in my life. You said yours didn't know you. I ain't seen mine in 3 months. 6 months or 9 months. They didn't come to me. He wasn't that away. I called him. He wasn't that away. My spouse at the time said he don't know you. I went in the room. I thought it was me. He said, it ain't you. He hadn't seen you in 3 months. Whenever she would leave out the house, that boy cried. It was cutting me here. When she come back, you can't do this no more. You gotta take him with you. Why? He cried too much. He don't know you. You gotta take him with you. after about like a month or so of us interacting and connecting and him staying there, while she go places or in the next room, we bonded. But I had to go through something, I won't say unnecessary, but that period of time. And it cut me. Like you said, you had those tears in the middle of the street. That's how I felt.
I know we were talking earlier about sacrifice, and what I was saying about sacrifice is putting something valuable up in hopes for something more valuable to happen. So when we make sacrifices as men, a lot of times we think logically more so than emotionally. At least myself and
Say
what I know.
Time.
We think logically more so than emotionally. And the things I believe that stop us from pursuing our fatherhood journey is we start being emotional with our thinking. And what I mean by emotional with our thinking, I'm gonna tell you what I mean. We start thinking about, what does my child think of me? What does my child family start thinking about me? What does society think about me? Okay? Here's the solution right here. What you think about yourself? What do you think about yourself? Because people see you how you see yourself. So that's the first thing. How do I see me? And this is how I just reshaped my whole life. How do I see myself? I see myself as a loving, caring, dedicated, motivating father, and whatever else you want to put in there, right? Okay, so what does that look like? What's a dedicated father look like? That's number one, right? If I could say a dedicated father looks like this, a dedicated father looks like time spent, decision making, okay, and knowing a child. How do you know somebody? How do you build a relationship? Through time. You know that one shorty you first started talking to, and you know what I mean? Y'all just be on the phone all night long. Sex and every here and there. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. And you start building that relationship. Then y'all move together. Y'all do everything together. And start dressing alike. Got the same J's, right? We was at the basketball club place, so I see somebody with the same J's. Hey, babe, that's where the same. How about we do that with our child? You see what I'm saying? Let's just spend time with each other. You know, talk about things. Be there. That's key. Being there is key. And putting away all the emotional feelings that you feel about what people think about you and your circumstance. Because at the end of the day, the only people or person you're trying to affect is that child. Now, how can I affect them? By giving them pieces of you. What's a piece of me? My experience. You know what I mean? My experience. So here's a perfect example. When you're talking to somebody, make sure you're looking them in the face. And if you're afraid to look them in the eye, look them in. This is a little trick that I do. Look at them on the nose, on the middle of the eye. That's something that dads tell their kids. You see what I'm saying? Because dads are, not say that, but men are more confident. We more out there. You see what I'm saying? So how do you be out there? And you're like, well, I don't want my daughter knowing that. Yeah, you want your daughter knowing that because you want a confident young lady, right? I'm not saying that you want a masculine lady. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying confident. How do you build confidence? Through experience, through teaching, right? Little things like that. Fathers can give their child. And I'm not excluding mothers, but the conversation is about fathers. You might say, you know what? And it's a lot of situations where you live in one state or one city and your child live in another state in another city. Like, man, I can't spend time like that, man.
Yes,
I ain't got it like that. Or my circumstances is different. So they live on the East Coast, I live on the West Coast, or wherever they at, right? Cool, okay. Or you on the phone with them? We doing that FaceTime? We sending that text? Well, you know my kid don't text back. That's cool. Because some of mine don't text back either. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something about that text. Sorry for cutting y'all off out there because I know y'all might feel the same way that I feel about that. How do you feel when your child don't text back?
Here's the better question. How do you get them to text back?
How? Okay.
And this is what I do. I'm not a normal texter.
I'm a talker.
Right, so why don't you do a voice note? A voice note. A voice note is a recording of you.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? I just want to say what's up, how you doing? I want you to know I love you. All right? Hope you have a great day. Love you. Bam. Send. Voice note. How about, I send videos. What's going on? Yo, you was on my mind. I just wanted to, just like you do to shorty.
Okay.
But what more would you do for your child? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I do videos. Hey, what's going on? You was on my mind. Where you at? I know what you doing. I just checking up on you. Just want you to know I love you. Okay? And it's not about them responding back. It's about me connecting to them.
To them. Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
The more connections I make, you gonna respond back. You see what I'm saying?
Eventually.
But at the end of the day, am I affecting my child's life?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Do you see what I'm saying? And this is how you affect it. Hey, I just want to let you know you was on my mind. Okay, what's after letting you know what's on my mind, yo? Let me give you a tip or something I would do. Give them a story or something, a piece of you that you want to share with them. Give them pieces of you.
This is what I realized about some storytellers. When I tell my stories to my children, I use all this. I get as transparent. I use my life experiences, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. So they don't make the same mistakes that I made in life. And we all at least made at least 3 mistakes.
Here's another thing too. And what I had to learn having 6 children. Every child learns differently.
Oh, of course.
Every interaction with a child, I had to, when I got divorced and I became a single dad, I had to cater to 7, 8 personalities. My 6 kids, mine and my dog. You know what I mean? Different personalities, and it's very difficult to have to switch up every single second. So how do you do it, General? Okay, I call it an instruction manual because every piece of equipment comes with an instruction manual,
Exactly.
right? Children don't. However, I'm about to get there, all right? So I call it an instruction manual.
Teaching phase.
Right. So instruction manual is, let's say I bought a TV. The instruction manual is going to tell you how to use the remote, how far you can use it from, what type of batteries to use, and all that good jazz, right?
Okay.
So with the instruction manual with my kids is, I had to first observe them. Observe them, spend time with them. And for my dads that's out there who can't physically spend time with their kids, okay, observe the behaviors of them while you're talking and FaceTiming, okay? Then you get to know the instruction manual of that child. One of my kids, she's outspoken. You know what I mean? She's not rude, but she's outspoken. I don't want to muffle her outspokenness, but I just want to shape it, right? So how do I shape it without muffling it? Hey, baby, make sure when you're talking to me, don't raise your voice, okay? Because raising your voice is a sign of disrespect. You see what I'm saying? When you're talking, don't look me in my eye. My son, he likes to use his hands a lot. I said, son, let me be real with you. Where we come from, using your hands is a sign of aggression.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're gonna put you down, you're too aggressive with your hands. Okay, so what I like to do is I'll fold my hands when I'm talking, when I get passionate, you know what I mean? Or put your hands in your pocket. You know what I mean? So that way you ain't doing this and people ain't taking it the wrong way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? These are gems and pieces of you that you could be giving to your kids. And that's a perfect example. But going back to it all is, what's your decision?
What's your decision on if you want to do it? My guest said he said a mouthful today. He said a mouthful, but I'm glad that he allowed me to chime in on this table today. But right now we're gonna hear just a little bit more about the General as far as what he do in life as his profession or whatever the case may be.
General, father to 6. I'm a life coach. What's a life coach? A life coach is someone who coaches you through life. And you saying like, okay, what type of life? Well, say you want to get a job or you want a job promotion. What's the best way of going to that? I'm here to coach you through that. Think about basketball. The player himself or herself can be a great player. But you know what? There's certain things that I can tell you to make you even better player. I'm not saying I can make you great, but I can help you become greater. I'm an inspirationalist. What's an inspirationalist? An inspirationalist is somebody who inspires you to do something that you want to do something. But I inspire people to do greatness. So I can be reached at fatherto6.com, FATHERTOSIX.com, or just plain and simple, Father to 6 on all social media platforms.
For somebody out there that don't make all social media platforms, what would you do say to that person?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube.
Gotcha.
I ain't on the TikTok yet. You know what I mean? But I'm getting there. I'm gonna get there.
You're getting it. Once again, I was glad and happy. As a matter of fact, you are my first guest of 2023.
And thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for accepting the invite. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule day to even come in and be a part of this.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can be here again.
Hey, note to self. Note to self. As we say back home in B-More. Fathers, call you. Come on, you can join me with this right here. It's very, very simple. You ain't gotta say nothing. Just move the motion. Fathers, call your children, and children, call your fathers. And then I go like this, hugging. Fathers, hug those children, and children, hug those fathers. Until next time.
Peace.